Here we are. It's Monday. It's lunchtime. It's 12:30, and we are talking live and LinkedIn. And more importantly, we're getting visible. So, what are you doing to be visible? Where were you before? How are you doing now? And what I'm doing is getting people in that are a little bit more visible than they used to be. And I want to find out how they got there so that you can learn too. And this week, okay, this is crazy. It's lunchtime for us, but my guest this week is drinking his first cup of coffee of the day because it's 6:30 where it is. So, Justin, thank you for joining us. Hello.
Yeah, got the coffee going for sure, but it's great to be with you, Ashley. I appreciate your time this morning, my friend, and looking forward to sharing lunch with you all the way over here in Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was going to say. Where are you? So, right at the very top of the states, aren't you, Missouri?
It's actually we're right in the middle of it, actually. Kind of right in the mid. We call it the Midwest, but yeah, the unaffectionate term is flyover country, but there's a lot that's not true about that. So yeah, great to be with you and looking forward to the conversation.
Right. When you said Missouri, I was thinking of one of them lake things, wasn't I?
Yeah, Minnesota. Minnesota's a little further north.
That's what threw me. So are you anywhere near where Dorothy came from?
Oh yeah, that's Kansas. That's one state to the west. Yeah, my folks are both from the lovely state of Kansas. So yeah, that's where Dorothy walked her road for sure.
Absolutely, with those lovely red slippers. So for people that don't know you, Justin, who are you? What do you do?
Who am I? Well, mostly I'm married to a lovely woman named Brooke for the last 23 years. We've got 5 children that we've collaborated with over the last 22 years raising. And so we got 4 daughters, 1 son. They range in age from 22 down to 14. And yeah, I mean, from a work and a professional standpoint, I run and own a business called Guild Collective, which is a brand agency here in Kansas City. A team of 7, and we're helping brands discover their heartbeat. So what that means to us is really building out a strategy that helps connect business vision to emotional resonance and outcome, both to the internal team and the external clients that they're trying to sell to. And then, yeah, most recently have written a book called Give a Damn that I think we'll talk about here a little bit. But yeah, I'm interested in kind of this exploration of, can care be a competitive advantage, both from a leadership perspective, but also from a brand and messaging and storytelling perspective. So yeah, there's a lot more of who I am, but that's in a nutshell.
Right, we've only got half an hour. There is so much to unpick.
Right.
There's so much to unpick, and I love how you start off the conversation with Brooke, and my wife is a big part of my life. And so it literally, it's coming up in the next few days. It would be 40 years ago. 40 since I walked into a hotel just down the road as a teenager and started working. In there was this gorgeous young lady, and she's still my wife. And she's a huge part of my life. And I love it when people acknowledge the other half. And I love how you collaborate to make your children. That's
it is, right? Like it's such a magic show, and it's really hard, it's really difficult, it's really uncertain, but it's the most kind of it's beautiful. It's actually just the most meaningful thing we've ever done. And so yeah, she by leaps and bounds is my much better half, and it's just such a wonderful thing to build a life with someone. And I know we're going to talk about business and all that, but to build a meaningful life is just such a reward, such a gift.
The thing is, though, you're building foundations, you're working hard. 5 kids, that's a challenge. All right, so so you've got to have respect for each other. You've got to give a damn. And I think it's important that we acknowledge all this that goes on behind the scenes, because if we can do all of that, then we can run a business. And
Totally.
And I think so you're leading with that, which is beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing that, because so many people, you don't know whether they've got kids or not.
Well, and I just think it's with no judgment to it. I think it's just a shallow answer when it's like, well, what do you do? It's like, well, I've gotten to know the author Paul Young, who wrote The Shack, and this piece of wisdom he shared. He's like, when I launched Give a Damn, on the day of the launch, he told me, he said, you are essential. He's like, what you do is not essential. He's like, don't ever blur those two lines. Don't forget that. He's like, what you do is not essential. Who you are is essential. And I think it's such it's a more interesting answer to hear, like the way you said, like, what's your story? Who are you? Versus like, what do you do? Because again, it's not bad to say like, oh yeah, I'm the owner of an agency and we do 2 million in revenue and blah blah blah. Like it's fine, but it's much more interesting to be like, actually, you made me think. Like the most important thing in my life is my faith and my family, and I'll tell him that because that's what he's asked.
Yeah. And you give a damn, which brings me beautifully to your book. Tell us about the book.
Yeah, it's, again, we're constrained by time, darn it. But the book is, it was really an exercise for me. It was this curiosity trail that, we put, literally, it's on this mug here. Like we've put give a damn on mugs and stickers and client gifts, and we say it, it's in our core values, all this stuff. And I started to get asked, not tons, but enough that I started to pay attention to it. I was like, well, what's give a damn mean? And so I had to reckon with that and wrestle with it. And for me, the way to do that is writing. Like for me to get really from my head to my heart, and for me to get clear on not just my thoughts, but my, like, what's actually in there, is through the written word. And so it actually started in the mountains of Colorado with my wife last February. And we were doing what people do when you get away from work responsibilities and the animal responsibilities and the kid responsibilities. And we were having dinner, and we legitimately had the napkins from this little burger joint, and we were writing on the napkins, like just stuff like dreams and desires and ideas and whatever. And one of my little bullet points was, it's time to write the book. And I didn't know exactly what that meant at the time, but fast forward through a lot of the details, what came up for me was, I want to explore this thesis of, can care be a competitive advantage? And to me, that's the subtext of give a damn. Like give a damn's cute and catchy and whatever, you say it, and people are like, oh, that's interesting. And I was like, what's it mean? And for me, what came out was this clarity of these 4 components of what it means to give a damn. And it's much more like building a fire than it is like some perfect framework. I was kind of just on my own leadership journey frustrated with these books that, again, are helpful and good. There's no judgment to them, but they're almost like they were manufactured in the lab. It's like this series of, here's exactly how it will unfold, and it's perfect. And if you apply these principles, and you'll achieve great riches and ultimate peace, right? And for me, my leadership was in my life, it's just much messier. It's just much more complicated. It's just much more organic, like a fire, like building a campfire. And so I just put these 4 logs into the fire, and the 4 are, the first is, I think if leaders who give a damn want to grow in their impact, they are more curious. So curious is the first C. The second C is to be more compassionate, which is a weird word to toss around in corporate culture, but compassion is this like empathy with skin on. It's like empathy in action. It's like not just I understand your feelings, but I understand your feelings. I'm going to take action. And sometimes that might mean making a hard decision to fire somebody. Sometimes that might mean making a tough decision to fire a client. Like there's all these applications. And then the third one is how does the leader grow in clarity? And that was the hardest part of the book for me to write, because it's easy for me to kind of talk big picture vision, where we're headed. But to get like specific and clear, and to make sure that our team understands with clarity what I'm trying to communicate, and what other perspectives need to exist beyond my own, was a big part of that book. And then the last one is consistency. And that's just that drumbeat of like, man, at least again for me, I'm going to screw it up. I'm going to show up not curious sometimes. I'm going to show up not compassionate sometimes. But over the long haul, like any investment return, curiosity and clarity and compassion compound if you do it consistently. And so that the book was just this exploration of like, all right, is there some framing underneath this phrase give a damn that I can get clear on for myself? And then in that, are there stories and lessons and And I definitely share stuff that I screwed up along the way, but also these little nuggets of times when I was the employee or the team member or the recipient of wonderful leadership that I got to share and reflect those stories back through the book. So all that to say, it came out February 18th, and it's just been this really lovely journey. And I know you, in a lot of ways following your lead. I know you've written books, and it's just it. The book itself was a gift, like to do it, like to write it, to sit down, to publish it, to get it out was a gift. And now all that is coming from it has just been this really fascinating blessing for sure.
Yeah, no, perfect. That's a long answer. But no, brilliant answer, because some of these big corporations that I've worked for, definitely not compassionate.
100%.
And I think people are seeing that now. And with what I'm doing on LinkedIn, and teaching people, it's all about being relatable. And if we can relate to you as a person, then we can relate to you as a business, and then we'll want to work with you more than these other businesses that aren't quite giving a damn. And I think that's the key thing. The most important thing most important of your C's there, which would, and if I turned around and said, look, you can only have one C, what do you think it is?
I think it all starts with the hardest part for me, which was clarity, which is, I mean, it's what am I going to get clear on to give my limited time, effort, attention, resources, money, focus, all that stuff. It's like, what is it?
Yeah.
For me, it's easy to talk in hypotheticals, but it's like, what is it? Like, what's the specific thing? And I don't want to make my already long answer longer, but it's really important for me to communicate that this isn't an exercise in like over indexing in the quote unquote soft skills to move away from profit, making money, running a healthy business. It's not either or. That was the like wild understanding. It was like, it's both and. Like your point on these corporations that don't double down on compassion, it's like they're missing out. Like they're missing the hearts of their people to get bigger impact, to drive more profit, to run a healthier business. It's not like money or care. It's both and that was this like evidence that kept coming up in the book. So to answer your question, it would be clarity though for me.
Yeah, no, I like that. And mine would be consistency. Because I think that's the other thing we all get wrong. We're going to do something. We'll write a book. We've written the book. That's it. And not 100%. Talk about it ever again, or I'm going to do a bit of LinkedIn. And if you show up every single day, that's consistency, rather than worrying about the algorithm and all those sorts of things. But
I like your answer better.
No. But the problem is, if we're not clear on what we do, then again we haven't got. How do we get that over? Clarity and consistency are two of my. I've got 5 C's for LinkedIn, and if I go to your profile and you're not clear on what you do, I'm gone.
That's right.
Because I don't know what this guy does. And so yeah, I think we could argue all day long about which one is the strongest one. But good answers. Good answers. So brand agency. How important is personal branding, Justin?
I think it's incredibly important, and I steal a lot from other wonderful thinkers in terms of how I see the brand world. But Seth Godin, I'm going to butcher and paraphrase his quote a little bit, but he said, "Your brand is the story that gets told about you when you're not in the room." And to me, that's true for a corporate brand, your business brand, an organization, a nonprofit, a startup, or whatever. And it's also true about the individuals, the humans who make up that brand. And it's not, in my opinion, it's not reserved for quote unquote leadership or the executives or the owners or whatever. There's this mass. I know you do this for a living. There's a massive invitation for people to humanize themselves in this very distracted, noisy, kind of nonsense environment where people are like all trying to like rush to play this same game. And meanwhile, like you wouldn't show up to the neighborhood picnic and just be so obnoxious. I mean, if you would, you wouldn't have very many friends.
Correct.
And so like I think we, I'll get long-winded again on the answer, but I love the question because I think it's every bit, especially if you're not some Fortune 50 company. Like if you're invested in your community, you're hiring employees, you're trying to find clients. It is, you don't have to do anything, but there is such an opportunity for you to build and share stories in ways that, I love your point, are relatable and ultimately play that consistent long game of attraction to the thing that you're interested in or building. And so I have like a little bit of I don't love the like concept of a personal brand in its not in its in its name, because I think like we're far more than a brand. And I think there are sometimes people that, and I can be tempted to do this too. Like you kind of manufacture or project and you like turn your soul into this, it's early, sorry, the coffee's maybe still flowing. But you turn your soul into this like projected image of yourself, and you're performing for a thing versus sharing from a place. And so I think I just have to be, for myself, mindful of that distinction. Like, am I trying to get applause and approval, or am I sharing from a place of security and groundedness? And it's not always so black and white and easy, but all that to say is like, of course, whether you're running a home service business or a technology company, or you're a mid-level manager at some other place, like sharing your perspective in a human first connected way is a relatable way to share stories that lead to growth in the thing that you're building, for sure.
Yeah, no, perfect. And so many people are forgetting the personal brand. They're just, building up the company.
Yes. Yes.
What's your answer to that?
Well, I think, we're back to the collaboration with young humans. Our two oldest daughters are entering like their quote unquote work stage of life. And part of our advice to them is like, well, as you think about jobs or internships or opportunities, like who are you going to work for? Not just what company. Yeah. And if that person doesn't have some published thinking to get a sense of like, has this person an a-hole? Do they care? Have they been there a long time? What do they think about stuff? Like it's every bit as much of a who for me, and even as a dad, like who do you go to work for? Because as we all know, bad bosses can really impact stuff. And there's a lot of toxic environments that might be quote unquote successful, but they're really void of human decency. And so, yeah, I think the personal brand, if you will, is incredibly important, especially when you're thinking about hiring decisions and client acquisition. And I think that's part of the very first move a lot of us make is like, okay, cool. I did with you. It's like Ashley Leeds 15-minute LinkedIn guy. Who's this? It's like, oh, he's posting pictures of his like he's a real dude. He's like out there in England, like making it happen. Like I like this guy. Like it was instant, right? It wasn't it didn't take like 14, AI searches to figure out who you were. I could just feel it.
And I am a dude. I love that. Hi to Corinne. She's joining from Cambridge in the UK, and a communication consultant. So I'm guessing this is right up your street, Corinne. If you've got any questions for Justin today, then please just drop in a comment in the chat. So you're how did you get into branding then? You're running this brand agency. What made you sort of like think, oh, I could do this?
Yeah, I mean, I quit the best job in Kansas City 10 years ago. I worked at the Kansas City Chiefs before they started winning Super Bowls. But
stop. You're talking about a football team, are you?
An American football team.
Yeah, we don't get that. We don't get that. So who are you? So is that like you were working for Manchester United or something?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good, really cool opportunity. And I was there in total for 8 seasons. And what kept coming up though was we were dealing with these really awesome clients, but they continued to struggle. awareness that kept coming was they were struggling to tell their story. And so I thought it was a content problem. I thought they had content problems. I thought they needed to write better content, which is definitely part of it. And so I was viewing it a little bit more through like a marketing and communications lens. And so there's a whole long story we don't have time to tell, but I ended up quitting my job to launch Guild. And the quest was, we need to create content that connects. That was our very first tagline. We create content that connects. And again, content is very necessary. But as we've walked this road over the last decade with real humans making real decisions at businesses, what I've started to realize is like, this is a brand essence thing. This is much higher upstream. You know, if you were like hiking a mountain or tracing a river to its origin, a lot of conversations about quote unquote brand or downstream tactics that people argue about. And really it's like this upstream headwaters type stuff that's like, who are you? What is your purpose? Who are your target clients that you're trying to connect to, and what do they care about? And so it's all these like deeper, more like meaningful questions that we've just like a salmon swimming upstream, like kept fighting our way up to higher levels of the river over the last decade. And we'll probably still do that to some degree, but right this moment in time, it's like, brand is a system. It's a living thing. It's not like a logo on your, or a color palette on your website. It is a living thing that needs tending to, needs nourishment. And really like in it, it's how do we, and I don't want to mix our C's and get everybody confused, but from a brand standpoint, there's three main vital signs. It's also clarity. It's then connected. Is it connected to the internal team and the external audience? And then is it creative? Not just creative in the, is it cute sense or is it pretty, but creative in the, does it move human emotion? Because all of the brands we love move human emotion. Yeti, Apple, pick your favorite brand. They move you to take action, and they help you feel part of a tribe. And so brand, it feels like this kind of mysterious place, but it's like, no, it's every bit as important as your EOS business strategy to have a clear brand strategy.
Yeah. And I guess with the football team, there's even more passion, isn't there?
Oh my gosh! Yes.
So yeah, you must have learned an awful lot. Corinne's come back with a comment here. She sees a lot of dead LinkedIn accounts because under the thumb employees are setting up account because they've been told to. We could do a whole episode on that, Corinne, if you fancy joining me. And a quick shout out to Precious, who's joining from Nigeria. So we're worldwide today.
Come
Justin.
on.
Thanks to you. No, I know you've got to disappear, but we do something on this show every single week where I absolutely roast somebody's post. So
please.
I hope you've got something for me. Bear with me just a second.
Roast my post. Roast my post. Give me the comment ghost. Roast my post. Roast my post. We're gonna roast my...
I got a jingle for roast my post.
That's amazing.
Well, we'll see how good your post is. You've picked a post today, and I'm gonna share it so everybody can see it. Doesn't work. It doesn't work if you're listening on the podcast. But tell us a little bit about this this post and why you want me to roast it.
Well, I thought it was good. So I was like, man, I took this awesome video and at this small town in Italy. I tried to relate it to caring about your customers and giving a damn, and it was just like, wah. So yeah, that's why.
I totally get it. So basically, there's a guy mopping the floor. So if you're listening on the podcast, there's a guy mopping the floor. He's got his back to us. He doesn't know we're watching. There's a little bit of music on the soundtrack because that's what you're listening to because you walked past the door. And the story is what you saw. And I think it's a lovely story because what you're doing is you're sharing that this guy, he's cleaning the floor. It's in between shifts in the evening when we've got a packed restaurant. No one thinks about the guy that's cleaning the floor, but this guy's putting his heart and soul into it. And so this should be a really, really great post. And why isn't it working? Here's my take on this then. I don't think it's working because the video isn't exciting enough and none of your personality into it. And what I would have done is got him in the background and then taken a selfie and done some sort of face. All right. And just kept it static. Because what happens is if I'm scrolling through and I see a video, if nothing happens in the first few seconds, I'm scrolling on and nothing is happening. I'm expecting him to step in his bucket. I'm expecting somebody to
It's so true.
You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. And the other thing is the hook. All right. There is no hook.
Mm.
You're just telling us what you're seeing. And what you should have put in there is something, who cleans your floor? Something like that. That's what I
So
would
good.
That's
So
what I would
good.
think. Yeah.
That-
Look, I know you've got to go, haven't you? You've got to go and pick up some, take some kids to
collaborate.
school. So
Collaborate.
you've got to
Yeah.
collaborate. Justin, thank you so much for joining me. You've been an absolute superstar. And any last words before we say goodbye?
Just gratitude, man. I appreciate you, and thanks for having me on. And yeah, it was an early morning, so hopefully my thoughts were coherent. But cheers to giving a damn today.
No, absolutely. You take care, and we'll see you another day. Thank you very much indeed. So there we go. Justin's got to disappear because he's got to go and take his kiddie to school. I got another comment up there, so I'll just see who else is commenting. Precious is saying, moving human emotion. That is to move human to take action. Absolutely. And we all feel, don't we? And we all care. And so we do want to be moved. So thank you very much for that. Now, next week, I am doing another special. I'm doing a takeover, this time for Accountex. I've got my very good friend. Sorry, let's just remove that comment a second. I got my very good friend, Caroline Hobden. She's coming in to tell us all about Accountex. This is the biggest show in the UK, probably the world. But it's for accountants and bookkeepers. It's always great fun. It's like my Christmas. So looking forward to having a chat with Caroline next week. So if you want to find out what's going on at Accountex, find out who the speakers are, any special events, then please come along and find out. And thank you very much for watching this week. Thank you to my special guest, Justin, for getting up so early. And thank you to you guys for putting comments on. We will see you again next week. Thanks very much indeed. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching or listening to my show this week. I want to bring to you people that can help us running our business. I love having a chat. I'm very nosy, very curious, and I'd love to ask questions. So if you want to be a guest or if you've got some ideas for guests, let me know. And if you want me to help you with your LinkedIn, get in touch because I want to give you a voice. Now, that could just be using LinkedIn, but I do other things as well. So I can help you with a podcast, a live show, and all kinds of other amazing things. So get in touch. My name is Ashley Leeds. I'm the 15-minute guy, and you can find me on LinkedIn.